Hello students, welcome to Pramati Hillview Academy digital class. Today I am going to take up another lesson, Kathmandu, written by Vikram Seth. Let's begin, my dear students. I get a cheap room in the center of town and sleep for hours. The next morning, with Mr. Shaw's son and nephew, I visit the two temples in Kathmandu that are most sacred to Hindus and Buddhists. Author says he took a cheap, affordable hotel room on rent, and as he was tired from the journey, he slept for a few hours. The next morning, the author visited two temples in Kathmandu along with Mr. Shaw's son and nephew. One of the temples was a pilgrimage of Hindus and the other one of the Buddhists. Would you like to know about those two temples? Let's go to the next paragraph. At Pashupatinath, outside which a sign proclaim, make known publicly, entrance for the Hindus only. There is an atmosphere of febrile confusion. Priests, hawkers, devotees, tourists, cows, monkeys, pigeons and dogs roam through the grounds. We offer a few flowers. There are so many worshippers that some people, trying to get the priest's attention, are elbowed aside by others pushing their way to the front. When author went to visit Pashupatinath temple, author says that outside the Pashupatinath temple, a board was hung, which read that entry into the temple is restricted to Hindus only. He noticed chaos outside the temple as priests, hawkers, devotees, tourists and various animals move around. Author says he and his friends offered a few flowers in the temple. There was a huge rush of pilgrims and they were elbowing each other in order to move ahead and reach the priest. Of the Nepalese royal house appears. Everyone bows and makes way. By the main gate, a party of saffron-clad Westerners struggle for permission to enter. The policeman is not convinced that they are the Hindus. As I said earlier, students, only Hindus are allowed to enter the temple. A fight breaks out between two monkeys. One chases the other, who jumps onto a Shivalinga, then runs screaming around the temples and down to the river, the holy Bhadanath that flows below. Author says that when royal princess appeared, everyone got aside to give away space and bowed to her. At the main entrance, a group of foreigners who were dressed up in saffron cloths like sadhus tried to gain the entry into the temple. The god denies the entry as he knew that they were not Hindus. Then author saw two monkeys fighting and one chased the other, who jumped onto a Shivalinga, then ran around the temple and finally reached the banks of the holy river Bhadanath, which flows next to the temple. A corpse is being cremated on its banks. Means dead body being cremated. Washerwomen are at their work and children bathe. From a balcony, a basket of flowers and leaves, old offerings now wilted, is dropped into the river. Wilt means dry. A small shrine, means a place of worship, protrudes from the stone platform on the river bank. Protrude, coming out. When it emerges fully, the goddess inside will escape and the evil period of the Kali Yuga will end on earth. Near the Bhadanath river, author noticed a dead body being cremated, washerwomen washing clothes and children taking bath in the river. The writer also noticed how the river was being polluted when a basket of dry withered flowers was thrown into it. It means to the river. That too from the balcony of a building. A small temple protruded from the platform on the river bank. It is said that when the temple would emerge out completely, then the goddess in it would come out and the time period of Kali Yuga would thus be ended by her. At the Bhadanath Stupa, the Buddhist shrine of Kathmandu, there is In contrast, a sense of stillness. Its immense white dome is ringed by a road. Small shops stand on its outer edge. Many of these are owned by Tibetan immigrants. Felt bags, Tibetan prints, and silver jewelry can be bought here. There is a haven of quietness in the busy streets around. After visiting Pashupatinath Temple, the author visited Bhadanath Temple, and he describes it as a holy place for Buddhists. The place had a feel of calmness. There was a huge white-colored dome by a road. There was a Tibetan market on the edge of the road where immigrants from Tibet had shops. They were selling many things like felt bags, printed dresses, and silver jewelry. There were no crowds, and contrary to the scene at the Pashupatinath Temple, the Bhadanath Temple was calm and quiet, with busy streets surrounding it. Dear students, we have come to an end of the first session of the chapter Kathmandu. So in this particular chapter, Kathmandu, Vikram has given the description of two famous temples of the city. One is the Pashupatinath Temple, the other is the Bhadanath Stupa, the Buddhist shrine of Kathmandu. In the next session, we will get to know some more fascinating and interesting things about Kathmandu. Thank you, children.